Hey HD kids, my name is Jake and this is your Daily Drop. I wanted to share with you guys a verse that I've been reading, and it's in the book of Acts, and it says this: "Meanwhile, Saul continued to oppose the Lord's followers." So there's this bad guy, his name is Saul. He's hating on the people who are following Jesus, right? And so it goes on to say this. He said they would be put to death. He went to the high priest. He asked the priest for letters to the synagogues in Damascus. He wanted to find men and women who belonged to the way of Jesus. The letters would allow him to take them as prisoners to Jerusalem. On his journey, Saul approached Damascus. Suddenly, a light from heaven flashed around him. It was so bright he couldn't see. He fell to the ground. He heard a voice speak to him, "Saul, Saul, why are you opposing me?" "Who are you, Lord?" Saul asked. "I am Jesus," he replied. I am the one you are opposing. Now get up and go into the city. There you will be told what you must do." The men traveling with Saul, so Saul wasn't walking alone. He was walking with a bunch of his buddies. And so the men traveling with Saul stood there. They weren't able to speak. They had heard the sound, but they didn't see anyone. Saul got up from the ground. He opened his eyes, but he couldn't see. The light was so bright that he couldn't see. And so all of his buddies who could still see, they led him by the hand into Damascus. They led him into the city, right? For 3 days, he was blind. He didn't eat, he didn't drink, he couldn't see, he couldn't do anything for himself because he was blinded from this light. And so in this verse, in this passage of verses, there's this guy named Saul. He's new on the scene. He's attacking Christians. He's hating on Jesus. He's doing all of these bad things, but also he has another name later in the Bible. You may have heard of a guy named Paul. This is Paul. He changes his name to Paul here and now. And so what this verse is saying is that Paul was on his way to arrest followers of Jesus. He was on his way to take down churches and to attack followers of Jesus, but Jesus had other plans for him. Jesus had other ideas for this guy. He stopped Paul on his journey, and he revealed a new mission for Paul. So in a moment, Paul went from attacking Christians and being a bad guy to believing that Jesus was the Son of God and changing his whole life. And so when we put our faith in Jesus, when we trust in him, it changes everything. It changes the whole story. It changes our whole lives. You know, we'll see people as God sees them, not just how we see them or how the world sees them. We see them how God sees them, as being worthy and worth something. And we'll discover our personal mission. God will reveal to us what his mission, what his plan is for us. And we get to rescue others for him. And so Jesus really lived, and he died, and he rose again, all for each and every one of us. And so believing that impacts our entire lives. And that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. I'll see you tomorrow.